Welcome everybody, Jay Weldon's here with you. Thank you for joining my live session here. I am really going to discuss a topic that's not very well known online. There are videos on YouTube and different places about this condition called eustachian tube dysfunction. And I'd like to get into a few details about that, and if those that are out there suffering with it, I'd like to offer some suggestions from my own personal experience of dealing with it and what I did to kind of make that road a little less traveled for you of trying to figure out what's causing this terrible issue. And let's get into some of that right now. Alright, so let's jump right into eustachian tube dysfunction. What is eustachian tube dysfunction? Well, it's basically when the lining of the tube is swollen, and it happens quite a bit with those individuals that are dealing with allergies. They have an infection, an ear infection, or they just have a buildup of earwax or different things that are causing this to swell. So now basically looking at the picture here, you can see that it's basically a tube. It's kind of at an angle. And what it does is it drains fluid through that tube. And sometimes you'll notice you'll get that postnasal drip for those that have allergies and those that have a cold. That job of that tube is supposed to drain that fluid and make it go out of your ear, but when that gets clogged and swollen, it just packs in there. And that's when you get these horrible sensations, these symptoms. They're just terrible. Those symptoms can basically lead to you feeling off balance, and I'll get more into detail about why you're feeling off balance. But those symptoms can range from feeling a sense of off balance, your equilibrium is off, muffled sound, tinnitus, ringing of the ears. These are all symptoms that pressure. These are things that can happen for just having that tube swollen and having that increase of negative pressure pushing on your eardrum. And I'll show some examples here. Give me a second. Take a look at this photo here. You'll see that it gives you kind of the anatomy of the ear and how everything is so in conjunction. Everything is close by here. And when you throw off one issue, you get another one. Or when you resolve one issue, you somehow get another one. That's really what it is. It's impacted. Now, from my personal experience, I was really thrown back. I started to get the muffled feeling in the ear. That's where it first started, my left ear. I started getting a lot of muffled sensation, and I thought, okay, maybe it has something to do with my allergies. So what I did was I went to my general practitioner first to kind of get evaluated. Of course, they prescribed me some medication to treat allergies. So then I went that route. After doing so for several weeks, I realized that the condition was not improving at all. It was actually getting worse. So then at that point, I went the route to get a referral to see an allergist. And at that point, they just recommended me more medication and offered to do what is it basically a in-office procedure. And so that actually did not solve the problem as well. And from there, I was referred to an otolaryngologist where they did a procedure in office. And I could show you a clip right here to kind of give you an idea of what they do in office. It's basically insertion in your nose to kind of see what's going on in your ear. Basically an ENT doctor. And from there, after numerous of bills and referral issues and insurances not covering this and covering that, it started to get so frustrating. And that's why I'm here, to let everyone know if you're feeling any of this. I want to try to cut some corners for you. And of course you want to stay in touch with your physician. But I did stay in touch with my physician, and it actually did not resolve my problem. And since we're doing a live health chat here today, I want to kind of show you the clip here. There's a few clips that I found that kind of give you an idea of what you're going to be dealing with. Hopefully you do not have to go this route. Do want to say it's painless, but it is uncomfortable. And so here's a few clips. I just want to give you some more knowledge here and get you in tune of what's going on and what they may do if you shall need to go this route. Now, I'm going to give you some steps of what I did, and hopefully you're able to cut down this terrible ETD, eustachian tube dysfunction, diagnosis in half, and hope that it's something that will clear up. But here's a clip. Take a look at it and we'll tune in shortly. Okay, so let's jump into some of the steps that I took to get through this terrible road I had traveled on for 2 years. Not proud of it, but in that process, I learned a lot, and now I can share with others and hope that if they're going through some of this stuff here, if you all are dealing with this, I can help you maybe cut it in half or completely avoid it altogether. So let me give you some tools and steps that I did for my own personal relief, and now to date have no issues with my ears whatsoever. First thing I did, and I will tell you, I think I talked about this in another one of our live chats, is that I cut out coffee, all caffeine actually, and completely took it out of my diet. And was it easy? No. But do I miss it? Absolutely not. I do not miss it at all. What I found, and I think like I said, if you've all watched my other live, it was a live Q&A, you heard me say something about this, but if you haven't, I completely cut coffee out of my diet. It wasn't helping me. Actually, the acidity levels in the coffee were actually making me more dehydrated and actually drying out my sinuses. And because of that, it caused a lot of inflammation, and so in my sinus region, which made my allergies worse because of the lack of fluid and water going through. It just wasn't beneficial for me. Now again, folks, if I lose you on step one, I know there's a lot of coffee drinkers out there. I'm not saying to completely cold turkey it or anything, but if you're dealing with eustachian tube dysfunction and you are at your ends, you're probably willing to try anything, especially if it doesn't cost you a dime. It may cost you some tears, but maybe it doesn't cost you a dime. And if you're willing to go that route, stay tuned. But from my own personal experience, coffee was one of the things I completely skipped. Here's another one, dairy. I took dairy completely out of my diet as well. It was challenging. Now I will tell you, I staggered it because now I do eat cheese. It doesn't bother me, but I took everything dairy related out of my diet at that point in time to get myself back in shape. Now that I'm doing pretty well, it's been about a year now, I can stagger a little bit and add a few little items back into my diet. So for purposes of recovery, I hope I haven't lost you. I know these are two top things that people are going to be very sad about losing for a little while, but again, this is my experience, and this is really where I'm at now. I have no issues whatsoever with this problem, and I did do these steps, so I just want you to hang in there with me. But I want to tell you, if you're dealing with the muffledness, the tinnitus, ringing of the ears, off balance, the equilibrium being off, it's even hard to go into the mountains because of the elevation. These are all issues. I'm telling you right now, it is a terrible condition. You get that fluid in there, and it's really so bad. So I just hang in there with me. I'm going to be going through a few more steps here, and hopefully you're willing to try this. So we're on step 2 now. The third step that I did, I completely stopped popping my ears. And now, when you have this condition, you're going to want to pop your ears because you're going to get this cloud of air that's going to go into your ear, and it's going to feel like a sensation as almost if you're traveling in the mountains. And you're going to want to pinch your nose, and you're going to want to do the Valsalva maneuver and pop that pressure out. You have to stop doing that because it's actually not correcting the problem. It's giving you temporary relief, but for the long run, it's not actually correcting the problem. Now, when I would go up to grab my nose, I would have to slap my hand down and say, this is not helping. I need to stop doing this, because what it was doing is throwing my eustachian tube out of whack by popping those ears. Now, some people will say, do it, it doesn't hurt, doesn't do anything. I'm giving you my experience. I completely stopped doing that, and the eustachian tube actually fell into the place that it should have been, and it made me feel so much better. The next step that I'd like you to try is a certain maneuver. That maneuver is called the Epley maneuver, which helps you with the condition called BPPV, which stands for benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. And what happens with BPPV is that small crystals in the inner ear get dislodged and displaced into another section in the inner ear, which throws off your equilibrium, which can then spiral into an effect, giving you this condition called vertigo, which is a situation where you feel like things are spinning around while you're standing in place. And this is definitely caused by those crystals kind of floating around freely in the wrong areas. And the Epley maneuver will definitely cure that, or even completely heal that condition. I'll be leaving some links in the description section of a video that you can try the Epley maneuver comfortably at home. Now be patient, because it's going to be a maneuver that you're going to have to do a little more than just one time, just to really get a full effect, and hopefully that gives you some relief. But in the meantime, I'll be leaving a link in the description for you to try that maneuver. And the last and final step that I'd like you to add to your list, and this is really probably easy for some of you not, is that I increased my greens. I say that a lot in a lot of my videos. I basically got my body more on the alkaline side of things, cut out a lot of the bad acid forming foods, a lot of your starches and potato chips and cheeseburgers and things that are high in acidity, French fries. I developed a more green based life, basically eating more cabbage, more spinach, celery, and that boosted my body's pH levels. It balanced it, I should say, and I felt like that helped tremendously. So these steps here, I think that's about 5. I can also leave a draft of the steps we talked about in the description. Try all of those, and I guarantee you'll feel better. Alrighty, folks, we're getting a little close to the end here. This has been great. I'm going to continue to do these live videos here, either the live Q&A or just the live videos of things that I've gone through, or things that I've experienced and saw out in the field, to share that with you all, because I can really say that it can help a lot of people out there struggling with this. Like I said, I saw many physicians, many professionals, did not get much relief there until I actually got home and did research and stayed on new diets. Nothing too tremendous, but just a little bit of changes there really helped me. And I really think this thing, when you first get this ETD, this eustachian tube dysfunction, it's going to throw you off. It's going to make you feel that something's majorly wrong with you. It's not. And I will say that with confidence. Get your checkups done. Stay on top of your test. As long as you're getting clearance from your doctor, your physicians, you're fine. With everything else, you're going to get the runaround with some individuals, but I want to tell you, it doesn't end there. You can go home and do your own research, folks. I really will tell you that sometimes will solve the problem, and I'm here with you. It's been a journey, I should say, to get through this, but now I'm healed and I feel better. Incorporating all the different things I talked to you about helped me tremendously. I did not have to go through surgery. I want to let you guys all know, if you're dealing with eustachian tube dysfunction, let surgery be your last and final step. Do the things that we talked about here, and I almost can guarantee you major relief. Please try the steps that we talked about. If you have any questions at all regarding this topic or any other topics out there, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me on my email, or you can leave it on any of our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me at jwellness@gmail.com. I'll be happy to get back to you. And I will love to hear your feedback on these live chats. I really enjoy doing them. I really hope I'm helping a lot of individuals out there. And if not, just take it as a reference and pass it along. I'll ask you all to subscribe to my channel so you can get all the latest videos on health and wellness videos, motivation, yoga, and meditation. But most importantly, I'd like you all to remember this one thing: being well is feeling well. Feeling well is doing well is living well. Happy wellness, everybody.